If we're going to study the gifted brain, it makes sense to start with the person who most people consider to be the most gifted of all, Einstein. Einstein's brain was preserved, and almost 30 years after his passing, it was studied. It was discovered that he had more glia, or connections, between all of his neurons in his prefrontal cortex. It was his prefrontal cortex that it was discovered had the most differences between his brain and the normal brain. And it was this we want to keep in mind as we study the gifted brain. Studies in identical twins have shown that, yes, genes do play a part. However, they do not act alone. The search for specific genes that play a role in intelligence have led to very little. Comparisons of DNA of highly intelligent people and the DNA of people with low intelligence have shown only slight differences. The genes which have been shown to link with intelligence are expressive. That means they are provoked by their environment. Variance in IQ scores have shown that the strength of the genes are directly concurrent with the socioeconomic status. That is to say, a student born into a deprived family is less likely to show intelligence than one born into an affluent family if the genes are similar. The difference in IQ tests is up to 60 points. This means that the genes play a very small role in poorer children, but a very big one in affluent children. What about brain structure? As we saw in Einstein's brain, it was shown that his brain structure was different than normal people. Was he born with this? The answer to this question is no. The development of intelligence comes with the development of the brain over time. In Einstein, we saw a major difference in the prefrontal cortex, the front of the brain in charge of reasoning. In all children, the cortex grows as neurons grow and produce branches called dendrites. In the teenage years, the dendrites are pruned and the cortex thins, making it more efficient. In a highly intelligent group of children, the cortex starts thinner, then thickens rapidly until the age of 12 before thinning. In average intelligence, the cortex starts out thicker and peaks at age 8 before gradually thinning. Therefore, it is not the size of the cortex that matters, it's its ability to change. Now we can talk about achievement versus ability. Ability is affected by everything we have spoken of thus far, namely whether the genes are in place to show intelligence, the brain develops in a way that shows high aptitude, and whether the child grows up in a nurturing environment. If all of these things are positive, you have the potential for a gifted child. Achievement comes down to whether that child lives up to their potential. To show the difference, I can take from my own experience. In elementary school, I was identified as a gifted student and put in the school's gifted and talented program. I came from a middle-class background with encouraging parents and a good school with good teachers. I had the ability, and I was achieving. But by the time I had gotten to high school, things had changed. I started hanging out with the wrong people, getting involved with bad things, and basically had no interest in school. My grades went down, and I had lost the achievement. I still had the ability, but I squandered it. Using what we know, what's more important, nature or nurture? Nature puts us in a place where we can have high ability. If we're born with the right genes, our brain can develop in a way shown in the brain structure section, in a way that leaves us with a flexible cortex that can accept and change based on its input. The nurture part comes with achievement. A child born in a supportive environment with the right drive can succeed if the brain chemistry is in place. If the child does not have that positive environment, they will not thrive. Without that, no amount of nature will overcome the nurture element. This is true for all of us. We need encouragement and positive atmosphere to succeed, otherwise none of us will live up to our potential, whatever that may be.